right.
Let me tell you about my family.
Hey, here we go now, it's bedtime again. Let's take a look and see what's happening. Roller coaster ride, but no surprise. It's life with Louie, Louie, Louie. Life with Louie, Louie, Louie. It's life with likable, lovable, completely huggable. It's life with Louie.
Your scientists will tell you that the average 8-year-old has spent 6 months of his life eating meals, 11 months of his life watching TV, and 3 years of his life asleep.
Climb up the side, and then boom! Mortar shells were exploding right in front of my nose. Are you listening, Larry?
Oh, to be the average 8-year-old.
Help yourself, boys. Eat up before it gets cold.
Reminds me of some field surgery I had to perform on my buddy when I was liberating France with the Fighting Fifth.
Here we go.
It was a little village of, Eclair.
How about the mashed potatoes, Dad?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Let's see. There were enemy machine gun nests here and here and here. My buddy Huckleberry gets caught in the crossfire. He says, "Hey, Andy, I can't feel my leg."
Andy.
So I take out my Norwegian army knife, and I open him up right there.
This is gross. I'm out of here.
Turns out he's got an enlarged spleen. That's gotta go. A ruptured appendix. That's gotta go. A busted up pelvis.
That's it for me. Bon appetit.
So I remove the infected organs, patch up the bullet holes with mud and pine cones. Now, you think a guy couldn't walk after something like that. But me and Huckleberry went on to single-handedly roust the Germans from the Riviera. And he's dancing the hoochie coochie at the officers' club. That's it.
Who wants seconds?
I'm done. I calculated that in my 8 years of life, I'd actually spent 9.5 years listening to Dad's war stories.
Next.
3, please. Got a little cold, huh? Reminds me of the time I was dropped behind enemy lines in Eastern Europe with nothing but the clothes on my back and a nasty head cold. Oh, what a mess.
Oh, man.
I was with the Fighting Fifth at the time. See, I was their advance man. I was, the hunter. But little did I know, the hunter was being hunted. And if it weren't for that sneeze launching a flock of Bulgarian geese, the Fighting Fifth would have never liberated Eastern Slovakia. So, my little reserves, are you ready for the movie?
If you hurry, you can still catch the end credits.
What? We missed it, huh? How did that happen?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Reminds me of the time I missed the USO show because I'd been red-tailed by the Lithuanian
Every time my dad opened his mouth, another precious hour of my life just seemed to disappear. If I never heard another story about Dad and the fabulous Fighting Fifth, it would be far too soon.
Attention, boys and girls. It is my great privilege to announce the kickoff of a very special week. The 15th reunion of our very own Cedar Knoll Fighting 5th Regiment that distinguished itself during the Second World War.
For a whole week, the school went war happy. It was a mandate. Every activity had to have something to do with the reunion. But then, in the 4th period English class, my whole world changed.
Does anyone know what oral history is?
The story of dental floss? The story of toothbrushes? What? Dental floss is funny, but toothbrushes gets me nothing?
Oral histories are the traditions that are passed down from generation to generation. So, as part of the 15th reunion celebration, every one of you will give an oral history of what your father or mother did during the war. Yes, Louie.
Just one question. Are we going to be graded on this?
What makes you so sure you're gonna get an A?
Are you kidding? You know what's waiting for me at home?
A plate full of high cholesterol cookies?
The Fort Knox war stories. The mother lode. It's time 8 years of bone-breaking boredom started to pay off.
Andy, what's the matter? You're crying.
Tears of happiness, dear. Tears of happiness. This is the happiest day of my life.
Really? Happier than the day we got married?
Yes. What's the right answer here? Of course not, honey. It's the second happiest day of my life.
That's what I thought you meant.
It's just that Louie asked me to tell him all my war stories about my days with the Fighting Fifth. Can you believe it, honey?
He asked?
Exactly.
Our Louie?
Yes, our Louie.
It's just hard to swallow, that's all.
No harder than this meatloaf, I'll tell you that.
Are you all right, Louie?
I'm fine, Mom.
You're not really going to listen to all your dad's war stories, are you?
Of course not. I'm gonna write them all down.
My favorite son, wants to record my wartime experiences. Is that so wrong? The document will be like, the Declaration of Independence, Magna Carta. Is that right, son?
Whatever.
Love that enthusiasm, kid. I love it. So, the Fighting Fifth were being airlifted into Finland, parachutes and all. Only the hatch won't open, and we're under enemy fire. I'm shooting back with both hands, and I have to use my teeth, actually my molars, to open the hatch.
Right.
Only the tank gun, it's jammed. I look at the instrument panel, and it's all written in German. So quickly, before you can say Girdlesburg, I learned German and managed to unstick the gun before my buddies get slaughtered. It was close. And the Fighting Fifth is stuck. No way to get to the safety of the forest without being spotted by the enemy. Until I see a herd of cows grazing in the field. So I start mooing my brains out. Cause a cow stampede, which provides the perfect distraction. And for that display of courage amidst the bovine, I got the Golden Calf Award. What's the problem? You didn't write it down.
Sorry, Dad. Carpal tunnel setting in. Does that after 13 hours of writing.
Public schools. What kind of school doesn't teach a boy to write with either hand?
It's getting late. Are you two almost through?
Home stretch. 1945. A few months of the occupation, and we are done.
Can't you finish tomorrow? It's a school night.
No. I have to present the oral history tomorrow. It's the kickoff of the big reunion.
That's right. You hear that? What reunion?
The Fighting Fifth. It's your big 15th reunion.
What?
Come on, Dad. Don't pretend you don't know about the reunion.
We're done here.
Wait, Dad. What about the last year of the war, 1945?
I was in prison camp. I don't like to talk about it.
Good night, dear.
And that's how women working in defense plants help to defeat the godforsaken, evil-swilling enemy.
Thank you, Miss Harper, and thank your mother for her inspirational riveting. Next is Louie Anderson.
I hope you all wore comfortable pants, because we're going to be here a while. My father, Andy Anderson, was the most decorated corporal in the history of the Fighting Fifth Regiment. Lights. The Spanish-American War. My dad started his military career as an intern. You know, delivering mail for the Spanish, that kind of thing. And with that kind of war record, it was only natural for FDR to give him a call when the big WW2 reared its ugly head.
Any questions?
Me.
Yes, Melvin.
Let's review. It's 6 a.m. Your dad is here, single-handedly saving a vineyard outside of Paris. At noon, he's here, using his big toe to wipe out an entire platoon outside of Italy. 4 hours later, he's here, driving a tank across northern Africa.
So what's your point?
What's my point? It just sounds pretty implausible to me. Improbable.
Not very likely. Furthermore, the Spanish-American War took place in 1898. World War II in 1941. By all estimations, that would make your dad 112 years old.
Well, you know, he doesn't look a day over 102.
Tell you what, Louie. Perhaps you should go back and check the veracity of your dad's war record.
I copied it down word for word. I had 3 tape recorders.
Louie, go find the truth and come back tomorrow and give us another report.
Hey, what's the big idea?
You tell me, Dad.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about 3 little letters, I-N-C.
INC? What do those clowns want? I got my green card. I'm a citizen.
Stands for incomplete, Dad. That's what I got on my oral report.
Incomplete, huh? What's the problem? Got too choked up talking about your old man? Couldn't get through the whole thing?
No. Problem was they couldn't swallow it. Mr. Lambert said no one person could have done everything you did.
Exactly what Ike said when he gave me the golden calf. I tell you that story?
Dad, they said I exaggerated.
Spun a couple of whoppers, did you? Understandable. You got carried away. It happens.
Really? Did it happen to you? I mean, you told me a lot of stories, Dad. Did you maybe get confused on the date? Add something to a story when you should have subtracted?
Who's your teacher?
Mr. Lambert.
And what did Mr. Lambert do during the war?
Apparently, he taught field hygiene.
Right. How to care for your toilet paper. You ever hear the expression, Louie, those who do, do, and those who can't do, don't believe those who did do? Huh?
Your dad's stories are, well, they're intended to create a visual impression and experience, dear.
So, yes or no, are they true?
Your dad is an artist, Louie. And as an artist, it's the spirit of your dad's experience that he's telling you. That's where the truth lies.
So you're saying the truth is that I can expect the spirit of an F when I deliver my report. Thanks for clearing things up, Mom.
The next day, the big reunion began. The Fighting Fifth invaded Cedar Knoll. If anyone could clear up the mystery behind my dad's war record, these were the guys to do it.
What the heck is that?
What's the Cedar Knoll? Replica of the landing craft that put us ashore on Normandy Beach.
My dad was in the Fighting Fifth. Corporal Andy Anderson, you know him?
Doesn't ring any bells.
Tall, small eyes.
Head comes to a point, his chin sticks out.
You know, pencil neck.
What'd your dad do, son? Radio operator? Doughboy? Corpsman?
Plus, he was a tank driver, forward scout, tail gunner, bridge builder, and field surgeon. He performed appendectomies with his Norwegian Army knife.
Busy guy, your dad. Why don't you check the unit photo over at the VFW hall?
Maybe your dad joined when he was underage.
Right, he took somebody else's identity. Like those escape cons out of Long Island.
Exactly. And then he took his real name back after the war.
Yeah, that could have happened. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Not even a little.
None.
But still, stranger things have happened, right?
Well, no.
That looks like him.
That guy? My dad doesn't have a tail.
Hey, cut me some slack. I'm just trying to help.
Louie's dad may have used an assumed name toddler, but he didn't assume a whole new species.
It was time to face the facts. My dad, let's just say that my dad had been an interior decorator in the big room of truth.
Hey, Dad. Big day tomorrow, huh?
Got that right, kid. Gonna sheetrock the bomb shelter.
Oh, good thinking. I'm talking about the reunion. The Fighting Fifth. Bet you can't wait to see your buddies. You know, share war stories, old memories. Things that never happened to you.
Nah, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Why not?
I don't believe in reunions.
Well, you went to your high school reunion.
My old uniform doesn't fit.
You were wearing it last weekend. Mom let it out.
I'm gonna be at Sunday Mass.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
It's the Sabbath. I converted.
Hey, Dad, did you ever go by another name other than Anderson?
Yeah, I used to be called Go to Bed Now Before I Get Really Mad Anderson.
Long name. Probably changed it at Ellis Island.
Maybe my dad could live a lie. But sure as my name was Louie Go to Bed Now Before I Get Really Mad Anderson, I couldn't.
There we go. Oh, look at that. Let me think of the war. Happier times, huh?
Why exactly?
You told me stuff that wasn't true. What would you call it?
A fib.
An embellishment. He was weaving a line of narrative tapestry.
What?
The Fighting Fifth were pinned down behind some hills alongside a farmhouse.
Wait a minute. I know this story.
The enemy
My dad was at this battle.
was the road. It didn't look good until one Corporal Humperdinck, who grew up on a farm, did some cow calls.
Humperdinck.
Having grown up on a farm, he knew exactly what cow calls to make. To cause the cows to stampede, creating the distraction that allowed the Fighting Fifth to escape.
The Fighting Fifth home again. Hey, good special effect.
That's a fast scout.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hope she doesn't trip on her udders.
I'm commandeering your vessel here, pal. Fire! F-I-R-E! Fire!
Dad? Dad.
Is that everyone? Is the whole Fighting Fifth accounted for?
Yes, sir. All accounted for.
All except one. My dad, Andy Anderson.
Anderson. Nope. Doesn't ring a bell.
Him, right there. Dad, are you all right?
Define all right.
Hey, guys, look! It's Corporal Keister!
Keister, you old dog. Where you been, Keister boy?
Saving our tails again. You can always count on Keister.
Dad?
This is your dad? Why didn't you say so?
I did. Andy Anderson.
Andy who?
I'll handle this. I'm Corporal Keister's son. It's a nickname. Got it at the beginning of the war.
How come I never heard it?
Because I was embarrassed. It's not exactly how a guy wants to be remembered. It all started at Pearl Harbor, Louie.
Wasn't it the Solomon Islands?
I think it was the Philippines.
Whatever. It was the islands, all right? As the platoon cook, I was always the first one up in the morning making breakfast while everyone else slept. Little did I know, at that very moment, the enemy was preparing a sneak attack. Now, I guess this particular kitchen was a little more cramped than most. And that's the true story of how I saved the Fighting Fifths behind. Of course, I couldn't sit for a week.
So that's why they call you Corporal Keister.
Yeah, I guess the name just stuck.
It wouldn't have been the same without you, Keister. Not to mention the fact that you saved our Keisters again.
Well, why weren't you in the company picture?
Well, I can answer that. Keister here took the picture.
If you're humiliated, I understand, Louie. You want to change your name, son? It's all right with me.
As long as I can change it to Keister.
What's that?
I'm proud to be a Keister, Dad.
Let's go, Keister. I mean, Anderson. It's time. They're unveiling the monument.
This monument is dedicated to the men of the Fighting 5th Regiment, heroes captured in their finest moment.
They sure captured you in your finest moment.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, perfect resemblance.
Not entirely perfect, but it'll do.
Look, Dad, they even included the ID number from that stove. Right on your left cheek.
I'm proud of you, Dad. I hope that one day my Keister will save the United States of America.
Not to worry, kid. You got the Anderson Keister. You're on your way. Expectations. We all have them.
fathers for their sons, and sons for their fathers. My dad was a hero after all. Just not the kind of hero he thought his son would appreciate. But he was wrong.
Let me tell you a little story. You with me?
Well, no.